And we're here with, I want to call him legendary artist, but Texas homegrown favorite, Nick Pitarra. Nick, how you doing, man?
Good, very, very good.
And he's sitting up here, just putting the finishing touches on a masterpiece of a cover for what looks like a Star Wars #1 variant edition.
Yeah, it's a fan wanted a Star Wars sketch cover, so I'm whipping that up while his son is running around crying, waiting to leave the show. So as fast as possible, I am drawing.
Yeah, well, hey, you're doing it.
Yeah. And we won't take much of your time. So, Nick, how's your weekend been?
It's been really good. Like you said, I'm local to Texas and born and raised in Houston, and so I had a lot of friends and family come out, along with the Felix Comic Art guys, or a lot of my extended friends around the country. So, getting those two worlds to mingle and hang out here at the Comicpalooza was really fun. I was worried about navigating everybody, but it ended up working out fantastically. I got a lot of really cool commissions and a little bunch of drawings you see in front of you. So I made some money and yeah, I had a blast. So it's been a good show.
Good. What do you have coming up the pipeline?
My project coming up this summer drops August 1st. It's through Image Comics. It's the writer of Chew, John Layman, and then me. I did Manhattan Projects.
Yeah.
And we're doing a book together called Leviathan. It's a big, fun monster book. It's basically Final Destination meets Godzilla, and a bunch of teenagers conjure up death, and our death is Leviathan from the Bible. So a big monster is basically running around stomping out millennials in the book.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
That is awesome.
I can't wait to read it. So where'd the idea for that come up?
It came up specifically for me and John Layman have known each other for years, before he did Chew or before I did Manhattan Projects, before I think either of us really published in comic books. We were on Mark Millar's message board, Millar World, and I knew him then, and he'd always said, well, we need to do something, We'd see each other at shows like this randomly, and there was a pause in Manhattan Projects because Jonathan Hickman's really busy and really famous these days, so it's currently on hiatus. So I called Hickman and said, hey, I'm going to call Layman up and do something with him, and he wanted to know what I wanted to do, and I came up with a few ideas. He's like, forget that, dude. If I'm working with you, you're drawing a big monster. So he came up with a really fun, kind of like a summer blockbuster popcorn movie for me to draw. So I'm just drawing it over the top as I can. So yeah.
That's fantastic. I actually can't wait now. I love Manhattan Project, and I love Chew. So putting them together is like you can't lose with that one.
No, you can't.
That's what we thought too. You guys want to see something real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I guess we'll pick up on the. Hopefully this will pick up. We'll find out. So the book is. I'm really, really trying to hand things up on this book. Let's see if I can get this here. I'll show you some of the art. Yeah, here's the. You want to hold it up to the camera? So
please do.
Here's the first appearance of the monster that you'll see. I don't know if you want to carry that.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a big, giant monster, and he's ripping through the city. And I actually got to show it to Jeff Darrow.
Wow.
Jeff Darrow is obviously the super detailed artist, a big guy in Rusty, hard-boiled. And so everyone, yes, it's
wow.
all over the top drawing. So I'm just trying to draw as crazy and fun as possible, and really show off, really be a little self-involved with my ego and just pour everything into it to show.
Hey,
how
that's
well
what you're supposed to do, man. I mean,
yeah. So, yeah, it's a big fun book, and been drawn like crazy for the last 6-7 months, and it's finally coming out in August. So yeah.
Well, your work is insanely detailed. How far ahead do you have to jump ahead to get on?
Oh, we jump ahead pretty far. It's a strange situation because, with solicitations and comic books, people have to order books ahead of time. Well, they need to be drawn ahead of time before they're even ordered. So we're like 7-8 months out usually before starting a project and when it's on the shelves. Now, then deadlines get closer and closer. Then the monthly deadline print to shop is usually like 3 weeks or so,
right.
Or maybe a month. So then so as your leeway goes, if you're not hitting a monthly deadline, which mine goes because with all the details, it's very, very hard for me to hit a monthly deadline. So my lead time's like 7-8 months before I start a project. We're gonna do the whole trade, take a little break, finish the next trade. Right now it's we have 2 trade paperbacks planned and hope to do another trade after that. But the crux of the story, other than the big Godzilla monster attacking, is there's a love story in the middle. So, and two of the characters are supposed to get married, but the monster attacks.
I see, on the cover over there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So on the first cover, there's always like a little romance angle to it. So it's like love and monsters kind of thing. And so basically, there's the first trade paperback is going to be called "Till Death Do Us Part." The second trade paperback is called "Honeymoon in Hell," when they actually got to figure out how to beat the monster. So yeah, we got 10 issue maxi series planned, and then if it sells well, we got we figure out some more ideas. I just don't know how long I can draw like this without dying. So.
Well, the detail is just absolutely stunning. It really is.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I was purposely trying to do my best work, and I'm friends with an artist named Frank Quietly who does All-Star Superman and stuff, and he's one of the
X-Men.
New X-Men, and he's one of those guys that whenever I talk to him, he's like, always do your best work, and it's so hard not to sometimes because you get the mundanity of drawing every day. Deadlines are like telling you to get it in now. He's a guy that has never made a deadline in his life, but everything he comes out with is eternal for the quality, So on this, with the lead time I had, I wanted to try to do my best work and find out what my best work is, not my get it done work, which is my get it done work is serviceable, but I want to try to really push myself like when I was trying to break in, like as a professional, try to break in again and just really try to push myself. So that was my mindset with this, and it was the right call by John Layman to pick a big monster because everything I wanted to do was like a slice of life, small, sound thing. And he's like, man, if I get to finally work with you, I'm gonna kill you. And he's trying to kill me.
When I saw the cover, it kind of reminded me of the Max.
Oh yeah.
Remember, like on the Max, there's this guy who's, it's kind of a love story, and then all of a sudden this monster comes and kind of, messes his world up.
Yeah. I actually love that when you have like small, delicate figures next to big, bulky shapes, and this monster. The backdrop is the monster. Even in some scenes, it's attacking, but on the rooftop, it's like a couple, squabbling, But in the background, there's like, a big mecha scorpion fighting a big, mutated dinosaur, and it's like that's not even it's just a backdrop. And I do think the juxtaposition of monstrous things and really grounded things. There's the playfulness there. I like, instead of it just being monster. There's a soft angle too. It's still kind of a basic summer fun movie. In my head, it's like a big popcorn movie, but it's a fun comic. I want to be able to hand it to like my nephews who are 14 years old and be like, whoa, this is fun. Not. I feel like a lot of comic books get really heady and they fall in love with the medium. All of my ideas are like that. My personal ideas, they're not marketable. And I want to do something that's just fun, just pure comics and a big fun monster book. So
Well, I'm looking at this and you say summer, popcorn movie. I don't really know, like, if you were to do this would be like $300 million. I mean, looking at it, the budget would be huge. There'd be so much destruction. I mean, the monster itself, would be a huge undertaking. So I would say if this were to stay, a comic or maybe do an animated series, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's the beautiful part about comic books is every page, my page rate's the same if it's a Godzilla ripping through the page or if it's a guy sleeping in a blank room. It's the same price. So all the special effects come out of your pencil in comic books, and that's why comic books are so fucking crazy,
Yeah.
And they are a real art form. I don't care what anybody says. Doing this detailed artwork, making it look so, almost as if you're there. There's an art to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's I think it's the highest form of art because we have to draw anything, but also as we're illustrating these things, the panel storytelling, I don't just have to be able to draw the things well and engagingly. I have to think about how the reader is absorbing the story. So it's really storytelling more than anything. And then on top of that, the very impossible task of learning how to draw really, really well out of your head. That's just the extra bit on top of the storytelling thing. And then if you get into the cinematography, the lighting, the character emoting, all of those and pacing, and even the structure of a comic book, the page turn itself is a surprise and where that happens and thinking about your story and the reveals. The art of the craft is really in the storytelling. So to say it's not art, I think it's the highest art because it's so many of these things together and it's such a pure form of media because it's just me and my pencil giving you this story, and obviously the writer coming up with this thing too. But it's as pure as it can get. With summer blockbusters and all these things, you start losing vision very quickly with directors and screenwriters and actors. All these things. Neo was supposed to be Will Smith, right? They're in the Matrix, right?
I heard he turned it down though.
Yeah, we turned it down, but still. But imagine if that was made,
Yeah.
Like now that's a little bit different movie, and so like all of these decisions are being made all with the pencil all the time, and so it's such a holistic representation of an artist's imagination. I think comic books are. So yeah.
Nice, man. Well, I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Leviathan comes out in August.
Yes.
From Image, correct?
That's correct. Image Comics.
John Layman and Nick Pitarra. Nick, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for your time, man. Thank you for your time, brother. All right.